more men who have the courage and the strength to start standing up and saying some of this stuff. And standing with women, not against them, pretending that somehow this is a battle between the sexes and other kinds of nonsense. We live in the world together. And by the way, one of the things that really bothers me about some of the rhetoric that against feminists and others who have built the battered women's and domestic and rape crisis movements around the world is that somehow, like I said, that they're anti-male. What about all the boys who are profoundly affected in a negative way by what some adult man is doing against their mother, themselves, their sisters? What about all those boys? What about all the young men and boys who have been traumatized by adult men's violence? You know what? The same system that produces men who abuse women produces men who abuse other men. And if we want to talk about male victims, let's talk about male victims. Most male victims of violence are the victims of other men's violence. So that's something that both women and men have in common.
The last thing that someone said to me was, I wish that someone would come in and talk to us about dating violence in the sign. And that's when it's like I had an epiphany and everything became clear. And I knew what my mission was, and I knew what I was supposed to do. And I knew that education was the key to shake up the culture of domestic violence.
Tears fell uncontrollably. They were big, wet, heavy tears. Tears that I shed out of exhaustion, pain, the sheer enormity of my actions. I was leaving. I left on a Tuesday. Stepping on the plane, I turned my back on it all. I had nothing left to lose. I was zeroed, empty, no more. I left on a Tuesday. The courage was built slowly, and not always so surely. And it had taken months to get to this. But the courage was built slowly and not always so surely, but enough to make sure that I faced this new direction.
You don't want to wait until it's your family. You don't want to wait until it's your mother, your sister, your daughter, your son, to decide that it's enough. Because by then it's too late. And those chapters that you look forward to reading, the chapters that I will never get to read in life, are gone. Thank you.
Connor first physically attacked me 5 days before our wedding. It was 7 a.m. I still had on my nightgown. I was working on my computer trying to finish a freelance writing assignment, and I got frustrated. And Connor used my anger as an excuse to put both of his hands around my neck.
But I decided I'm not gonna let him take me out like this. I'm gonna fight back. And when I did that, I managed to wrestle my way so that I wasn't at least laying down vulnerable.
Because behind every strong man, there's a woman supporting that drive and making that drive happen.